We're live on YouTube now, so we're waiting on Brad here. I'm just going to read my little meeting intro to explain the meeting to everyone in the public here, if that's okay.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, the format of this meeting consists of board members and applicants attending a live online Zoom meeting. Looks like we have 4 members and applicants in attendance right now. We're waiting on a 4th board member. For applicants, please only speak when the chair indicates time to do so. For example, he may ask if anyone is present to speak for an application. In addition, as usual, prior to addressing the board, please state your name, address, and affirm that you will tell the truth. The meeting is also streaming live on the city's YouTube channel. Looks like we have 2 people viewing the meeting on YouTube right now. Actually, here's Ken. For the public, viewers on YouTube have the ability to enter in comments. If you enter a comment on YouTube, please first indicate your name and address. Comments can be entered at any time, but will be relayed to the board when the chair indicates that it's time to do so during the public hearing portion of an application. Any other comments submitted to me prior to tonight's meeting have also been forwarded to the board. Please also be aware that there's an approximate 15-second delay between the Zoom meeting and the live stream on YouTube. So that's all I have. Looks like we have the other 2 board members join the meeting, and I'll hand it over to Stuart.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. I'll call the meeting to order. This is the regularly scheduled June meeting of the Worcester Board of Building and Zoning Appeals. This is a volunteer board of Worcester citizens established to hear requests for variances, appeals, and similar applications as specified in the City of Worcester Planning and Zoning Code. Board members present this evening are, I have to look at my screen, Greg McIlvaine, Mark Reynolds, Ken Suchan, and Brad Gowans. My name is Stuart Fitzgibbon, and I am chairman of this board. Because these hearings are a matter of legal record, the public portion of the meeting is recorded. Therefore, we ask, as Andrew just said, when you speak, please speak loudly and clearly. We also ask that prior to speaking, each speaker gives his or her name, address, and affirmation to tell the truth. Following the meeting, the appellant for each application will receive notification of the board's decision. The application to be considered tonight is BZA 20-09. We'll begin by calling the roll. Greg? Mark?
Here.
Ken?
Here.
Brad?
Here.
And I too am here. Next up is our meeting minutes from last month's meeting. Any questions, comments, corrections? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
That was Brad. Thank you.
Second.
Second by Greg. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, the minutes are approved, and Andrew, I will sign and send them back to you. All right. Tonight we have BZA 20-09. This is Eric Steinman making application for a pool and relocating a storage building. Eric, I assume you're here to speak on behalf of your application.
Yes,
You may proceed.
my name's Eric Steinman, 927 East Henry Street. And I do swear to tell the truth.
Thank you. Give us a description of what you're proposing to do.
So we have an interest in putting a pool on our property. And as you can see with the layout of our land, our backyard is not qualified for the pool size. We actually have a half unit behind our house, and so we have no backyard. What our proposal is to put the pool to the side of our house, on the west side. And there is a utility building there that can be moved to the opposite end of the property. That gives us enough room to do what we need to do.
Yeah, that diagram is very helpful. Questions from members of the board?
Much is the distance from the back of your house to the back property line where you're saying you don't have room for a pool there?
Probably there's a porch on the back of the house to the fence line. There's only 12 feet, 10 to 12 feet. Yeah.
And in the case of where the shed is going to be in front of the house, can you explain more why that needs to be moved up there versus back a little bit?
Actually, it can be less than 8 feet. If you look at the one picture that we submitted, I photoshopped the building over there already.
Okay.
I'm an artist, so I can do these things. But it can be within 2 foot of the front of the building or front of the house. I just put 8 on there just to have a buffer.
And the reason for not being able to go back a little farther? Is there not?
Yeah, our garden, we have a garden behind that. If you can see the raised boxes there.
Yeah, that's what I saw and assumed, but I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, we can't move it back any further than that. So at the least amount that it would stick out past the house is about 2.5 foot. And I would go that, after doing some more measuring.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and so essentially you've answered the question then of why you couldn't put the pool on the other side, and it's because your garden's already there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, any further questions from members of the board?
Where does the neighbor who said positive things about this live in relation to the house? Which side?
To the west side where the pool would sit.
Okay, so it's the neighbor
Yeah.
right next to the pool. Okay,
Yes. And I believe Orville Trucking and Grading may have sent in some information also condoning the project. We did talk to them. The property line to the south of us is Orville Trucking and Grading, and they were at our property yesterday, just in passing, and he mentioned drawing a letter up to condone the project also.
Yeah, I don't believe we have seen that yet. Andrew, have you seen it?
I didn't receive any communication from Orville Trucking regarding the project.
Yeah. It may have just been a verbal to us then.
That's better than no information.
Yeah.
Okay, any additional questions from the board? All right, if not, Andrew will open the public hearing portion of the meeting
Yeah.
and make the request that if anyone wants to speak for or against this application, now is the time.
And you just have up on your screen the one communication I had from Mrs. Friday, who owns the property to the west. I haven't received anything on YouTube. There are 2 viewers, so if you just want to give it maybe a minute for the delay.
Sure.
Doesn't look like I'm getting anything. There are two people watching and one of them might be me, so it doesn't look like.
All right. All right, then we will declare the public portion of the meeting closed. Do I have any further questions, comments, or a motion from the board?
I'll motion to approve this variance as presented, or request as presented.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Is there a
I'll,
second?
se- I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Mark. All right, we have a motion and a second. Voting in the affirmative on application BZA 20-09. Brad,
I'm going to vote yes for this, and I'll just specifically cite on the criteria sheet that we have to go on. Letter D, that the essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered. And then also, forget the letter, but just understanding the uniqueness of your lot, the way that it's set up, understanding you don't have the room in the backyard, and again, it's not adversely affecting the character of the neighborhood by placing it in the side yard. So I'm going to vote yes for those reasons.
right? Ken,
I'm going to vote yes as well, for the same reason that the backyard is too shallow to put the pool there. And since the neighbor to the west has no objection to the side that they're right up against. And from testimony that the building on the other side, on the east side, will be only as far as it needs to be to avoid the garden, is my understanding. So I vote yes.
okay, thank you, Ken. Mark,
I'm voting yes, mainly due to the unique property and the half unit behind it, and the neighbor being in favor of also.
okay, thank you, Mark. Greg,
Yes, also based on the reasons mentioned previously.
thank you, Greg. I too will vote yes for the reasons cited by my colleagues. It is a unique situation. And the change is the minimum necessary to accomplish your needs, and the neighbor is in favor. So your request is approved.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew, is there anything further we need to address?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right, anything from members of the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Somebody want a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you, Greg. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, like sign. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.